remember, these are tentative patch notes. But here's the patch notes. Viego, okay, isn't Viego like popping off in Worlds? Isn't Viego like dominating? That's what I hear. I haven't watched Worlds, but I hear he's like performing pretty well. So I don't really understand why this champion needs buffs. Yes, I know he's at like a 46% win rate, but I'm okay with that. I don't think anyone wants Viego to be strong, man. I genuinely, that is just one of the unhealthiest characters ever introduced to League of Legends. He is conceptually broken, okay? The fact that he gets resets, has no mana bar, can turn into a character with their items, so he's strong when he's ahead and when he's behind. Invulnerability frames, like all of this bullshit Riot August gave him, he's just never going to be balanced. Like, can we just let him be a 46% win rate champion? Can we just let him be like a niche champion that only a few people like playing for fun? Like, it's so stupid, but whatever. Viego buffs. And then look at this Teemo buff. Look at this freaking Teemo buff, man. Okay, first of all, does Teemo even need a buff? This is a Teemo one trick sitting at 1300 LP. Guys, 1300 LP. Teemo. What is Menko at? 600 LP. Teemo one trick. Like, all of the Teemo one tricks are flourishing this season. He's not weak at all. He's not weak. He's like an off-meta character for sure. But he's not weak. This buff, if this goes through, even if only half of this goes through, we're going to see Teemo picker ban. Swear to God. Look at this. Q cooldown from 8 seconds to 7 seconds. That already is massive. That already is freaking huge. Q blind duration, it goes from 2.5 seconds to 3 seconds. 3 seconds of being blinded, guys. Does that sound fun to you? And then on top of that, the Q missile speed is almost doubled. They've almost doubled the Q missile speed. Holy God. Which means your blind gets out there faster. This is so insane. This is so unbelievably cracked of a buff. Guys, so someone ran the numbers on it earlier. Right now, in order to permanently blind someone, which is possible, as in just they are never able to auto attack because you're just queuing on cooldown, you need 240 ability haste. Now, you need 140 ability haste to permanently blind someone and never let them auto attack ever. That's insane. That's psychotic. That is literally psychotic, because that's feasible. That's achievable. If you just rush full CDR. Also, like, Teemo is like an anti-meta champion. Like, he is supposed to give a hard time, not necessarily hard counter, but give a hard time to champions like Fiora and Renekton and like heavy auto attack bruisers in the top lane. That's what Teemo is like designed to do, right? This is like, he's not going to just lightly counter those champions. He's going to make them unplayable. Also, like, ganking a Teemo, I can't even imagine like the frustration that goes into trying to gank a Teemo as a jungler. But I've always said, guys, seriously, if this buff goes through, Teemo support win rate 56%. Calling it right now. Calling it right now. I will lead the charge playing Teemo support. I have always said Teemo support is the most underrated support in the game. He's not the best support, but people think he's like a 1 out of 10. He's actually like a 5 or 6 out of 10. After this, he's going to be like a 7 or 8 out of 10. Swear to God. This is broken. This is so unbelievably broken. Riot, what are you doing? Free shots, 1 with the prime, 2 months. Thank you very much. All right, Lux. This is a big buff too. Attack speed per level is 1% to 2%. That's not really a big deal. Like, she really only uses her auto attacks, like weaving in auto attacks between her spells. Like, she's not like out there building like on hit builds or anything. Passive mark duration extends if a basic attack is in flight. Which means if someone is marked on a passive and Lux auto attacks them, she gets that passive mark. The passive mark will not expire while the auto attack is in flight. Which is actually kind of has some like crazy implications, because unless the game tracks exactly who Lux is auto attacking, it makes me think that like all passive marks will stay if she's auto-attacking anyone. So let's say Renekton and Leona are marked by Lux's passive. Like they got hit by an E. And she auto-attacks a minion. Will that refresh the duration of those passive marks on Renekton and Leona? I think it might, honestly. We'll have to see about that one. But, or R is being cast. Yeah, like, it has to. It has to, because it doesn't know if the R is actually going to land. Or, like, where she's shooting the R. I think it actually is going to passive mark, extend the duration of the passive mark if she auto-attacks or casts R anyways. That's crazy. Okay, E damage. Now, these are the big buffs, guys. E damage, they get straight up a 10 base damage buff, and then a 5% AP damage, or 5% AP ratio buff. That's big, especially the AP ratio part. That's really, really big. It's going to help with their wave clear, which she already doesn't really struggle that much with. It's going to help with their poke. This is going to be a big damage increase. And then on top of that, 20 seconds off her R at level 1. 20 seconds off her R at level 1, 10 seconds off it at level 2, and then it's just, it still scales late game, but this is going to help her early game so freaking much. So freaking much. These Lux and Teemo buffs are the biggest thing in the entire patch. Like, this is so psychotic. Seriously, the Teemo buff, I don't know if people realize how big this Teemo buff is. And I bet the Teemo mains are not talking about it because they don't want it to get reverted. But this Teemo buff is huge. This Lux buff is pretty big. Xayah, dude, I don't know what the problem with Xayah is. She's been buffed like 10 times in a row, and she's still just not played. Like, the only time Xayah is played is when Xayah Rakan is strong. Like, it feels like Rakan does so much better without Xayah than Xayah does without Rakan. It's sad to see, because I think Xayah is really cool, and I think Xayah Rakan is very unique. Very, very cool bot lane. Yeah, I don't know what the problem with Xayah is. I guess she just can't compete with the kits. Immobile ADCs. I don't know. I think it's the fact that, like, she doesn't put out the raw damage that other immobile ADCs do. Like, she's not going to match the damage of a Kog'Maw Lulu or a Jinx anything. So really the only thing she has going for her is her ultimate, which can, like, help her survive one dive. But yeah, I don't know, man. Xayah's seriously been buffed like 10 or 11 times, and, like, she's still just not played. Okay, Jinx. Ever since they took away, I think they nerfed her, what was it, her ultimate, like the ability for her ultimate to steal Baron. Jinx has been pretty weak. So I'm okay with Jinx buffs. Passive total attack speed, 15% to 25%. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, wait. That seems like a big leap. Wow. So she's going to get off like maybe 2 or 3 more autos during her passive. It's kind of a lot. E cast range. Now her E is her traps, I believe, right? Yeah, it's her traps. This kind of sucks. I think the traps is like one of the more obnoxious parts about her. So her being able to cast them and throw them from even further away without really being in danger. Like, it's Jinx traps is kind of like Caitlyn traps. It's like bad Caitlyn traps. But the thing that Jinx traps has going for it that Caitlyn traps doesn't is that it's longer and it stops dashes. So it's really easy for, like, her support to catch someone and then her just drop traps on top of it, and that's going to be a kill, which I think is really lame and not how they're, like, not how it's supposed to be used, but that's how it's always used. Is that it's just really easy, like, chain CC. You just drop them on top of them. So I don't like the fact that she's going to be able to drop them from even further away. But yeah, 25 range isn't that much of an increase. It's really not. R cooldown, it's a 15 at level 1, so they're really stressing her early game for some reason, even though she's supposed to be a late game champion. And she still gets 5 seconds off at late game. Okay, Sion buff. W shield ratio, 8 up to 12 max HP. Oh, yuck. Okay. That's probably a good buff, though. I think Sion needs a buff. Champion nerfs. Quinn? 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 Quinn is still in this game? Who is this targeting? Who is this for? She might actually have like, yeah, okay, I was gonna say, but the only people that play her are like dedicated Quinn one tricks. And I feel like dedicated Quinn one tricks are not like as scary as most dedicated off meta one tricks. Like Aurelion Sol one tricks are terrifying. Like that champion is not balanced if you put in 1,000 games to Aurelion Sol and you truly know like his gameplay style and stuff like that. Quinn is just like, is she really that scary? Is she really that scary? Yo, Aoki's bro, thank you for the 6 months. Enjoy your new sub badge. Give me some gasms in the chat. Thank you, thank you. What's up, Rav? They're effing Quinn over 2, 20% attack speed nerf. Yeah, 20% at late game. Wow. So, you know, I guess it only affects her late game. But, man, that's pretty rough for a champion that I never see ever. Dude, I don't see her at any levels of play. Who plays Quinn? Seriously. Tyler 1? Who else? Who plays Quinn? Is this a Tyler 1 nerf? What is this, bro? What in the world, man? All right. Graves. I pray to every god in existence, every patch for Graves buffs or Graves nerfs. I hate this champion. I think this is the lamest champion in the game. I think Graves and Caitlyn, despite there being all kinds of bull S in this game, I think Graves and Caitlyn are the least fun champions to play against. Genuinely hate him. Do not like him. Don't respect him. Don't think he's hard. Don't think he's fun to play against or with. Just hate him. Hate the champ. Nerf him more. Nerf him into the dirt, Riot. Tarzan's rolling over in his grave. Yeah. Yeah, he plays a broken champion in 2 games. He plays him in Wild Rift, too. He's broken there. Hey, Sicko John coming in with the 4 months. Thank you. Tier 2, by the way. Appreciate you, baby. Give me some gasms in the chat. Over Yi? Master Yi, yes. Yes. Over everything, bro. Over everything, Sicko. Hate that champ. Akshan nerfs. E damage per shot. Okay, E is his hook shot, right? Yes. Yeah, I'm okay with this. I mean, this is kind of just like a placebo nerf, to be honest. His late game... Wait, they're nerfing his late game? His late game is already kind of like garbage. It's kind of weird. I'd rather them nerf his early game. This is just a placebo nerf. This means nothing. Karthus bot. They are nerfing Karthus bot. Rip Coog, guys. E mana refund goes from 10, 17, 34, 41, 48 to 15, 25, 35, 45, 55. The E mana refund. Now, I'm going to familiarize myself with what that is, because this looks like a buff. All right, passive. Karthus restores mana whenever he kills an enemy. How is this a nerf? He gets more mana back, so it's a nerf. This is a buff. I'm gonna assume, yeah, that these are backwards. That this is it on live, and this is what it's going down to. This is a little confusing. Like, I'm not tripping here, right, chat? Like, this is a buff. Weird. Anyways, Misfortune. Yeah. Yeah, you saw Misfortune in Worlds, didn't you? You saw Misfortune popping off in Worlds, didn't you? She's an absolute behemoth. Crazy, crazy cracked champion. You can literally run Comet and auto-win lane, or press the attack and auto-win the game. It's crazy. She has so many insanely good synergies and combos. Yeah, this champion's not really fair. Base mana. What? Bro, this is a buff. Okay, so it's an overall nerf, but they're buffing her base mana. They're giving her... what is this? 4.16 mana? Okay. And then W mana cost from 30 to 45. Oh, it's going down. Oh, wait, guys. See? This is why I need you, chat. This is why I need you. No, it's going down. They're removing 25 base mana. Okay, that's an actual nerf. That's an actual good nerf. W mana cost from 30 to 45. So they're just making her more mana intensive. This will probably like push her into like different itemization, but I'd have to look at like current MF itemization to know how it's going to affect her like exactly. It's a good nerf, I think. Honestly, I would rather them look at her E, but I'm kind of glad they're not because that would affect MF support as well. Okay, system buffs. Ingenious Hunter. Base item haste from 10 to 20. Item haste per stack 5 to 6. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Wait, hang on. Whoa. That's big. So you get 10 right off the bat. And then you can get an additional 5. So plus 15 for plus 15 item haste for Ingenious Hunter. It's kind of big. It's kind of big, actually. Health Rune Stat Shard. Health is going from 15 to 90 to 15 to 140. Okay, so it's gonna like, what, help? I don't know. I don't even know who this is for because like nobody uses the health shards. Like this is actually like a little bit of a decent buff, but is it enough of a buff? We'd have to do some serious number crunching to see if it's worth it. Plus, yeah, it's like it's always gonna be a risk because 15 health is so weak compared to the armor MR shard. Like, why would you ever take it? And I don't think in a late game maximum of 50 health. Yeah, this is still not going to be used, I think. I think this is still just not going to be used. System nerfs, Guardian. Thank God. This is such a non-interactive, garbage, like, boring, stat-checky rune. And it enables boring, non-interactive, stat-checky champion play, like Lulu. Like, does anyone want Lulu to be strong? No. Conqueror nerf. Adapted per stack, 2.5 to 2 to 5 to 2 to 4. Buff duration, 6 seconds to 4 seconds. Oh, okay. Adapted per... Okay, so Conqueror's nerfed. Good. Good. Feels like every champion that uses Conquer is not actually using Conquer, they're abusing Conquer. Gore Drinker. Nerf on Gore Drinker as well. I'm not super familiar with Gore Drinker, so I'm not going to talk out of my ass here. Ravenous Hunter. Omnivamp per stack. 1.5% to 1.2%. No idea who that is targeting. Okay, though. Thank you, Riot. System adjustments. Stridebreaker. Active damage. 100% total AD to 175% base AD. And then the AD from 45 to 50. 100% total AD to 175% base AD. Are there like ADCs going Stridebreaker or something? That's what it looks like this is targeting. Who is this targeting? Anyways, that's the League of Legends patch 11.21. These are the biggest things, guys. The Teemo buff and the Lux buff absolutely cracked. There's a few other interesting changes, but neat. Decent patch. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy.